Hello, World Schooling families. Do you wish you had more opportunities to connect with others who understand the unique joys and challenges of traveling and learning on the go? Hi, I'm Suzy, and I'm excited to invite you to a special virtual World Schoolers meetup happening Friday, August 8th at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. This is a chance for parents and kids alike to meet, share, and build community. We'll start with warm introductions, then move into small breakout groups to foster deeper connections. We'll finish up with a big group gathering, and the best part is you can join us for the whole hour or just pop in when it works for you and your family. To join this wonderful gathering, check the show notes, look for upcoming events on my website, or grab a calendar link directly from my Instagram bio. Can't wait to see you there. Also, if you're in Denver, Colorado, join us for the in-person World Schoolers Picnic on September 28th from 12 to 3. Look forward to seeing you. Now let's get on to the episode.
Have you ever dreamed of creating a community for fellow travelers? My guest today on the Wander, World School, and Slow Travel Family podcast is Claudia Bellante. Did just that after moving her family to Andalucia, Spain. And we're diving into the incredible story behind her Andalucia Nomad Mums hub.
Welcome to the show. Please tell me more about you and your family.
Thank you, Suzanne, for this opportunity. I'm very happy. I think that is my first podcast. So I'm from Italy and I'm a journalist and a writer of children's books. And I always travel for my work because I made a lot of reports and I lived in South America for some months in the past. I traveled with my husband, is a photographer. When I was pregnant, we were living in Barcelona, but then I missed my mom. So we decided to come back to Milan, my mom and my friends. And so my daughter born in Milan, but then the pandemic happens. And so we decided to travel a little bit again. So we just decided to move to Spain and to sign up our daughter to a school in the nature. Because during the pandemic, I thought that was a good idea to stay outside with a small group of people. The plan was to stay here in Chiclana, where we actually lived in the south of Spain, in Andalusia, for 3 months. But this is our 5th year, and next will be the 6th. So plans change, life changes. But basically, I'm a journalist. I always travel. I travel for work looking for stories because I used to do that with my husband.
How old is your daughter now?
She will be 9 in September. I think that if we consider she spent more of her life in Spain than in Milan, but she has feelings between the two places. Every summer we go back to Italy and she's happy. Of course, she misses her life in Spain, but then we come back. Yeah. It's hard, but also beautiful when you have two houses.
Is she learning Spanish in school?
Of course, when we arrived here, the first time was hard because she didn't understand so much. But I have my memories because I went to study to Barcelona when I was in the university. And it took 3 months for an Italian person to speak Spanish because it's quite similar. The grammar is close to the Italian. So when she said, I don't understand anything, I said, yes, I can understand, but don't worry because in a very few time you will speak. And it was like this. Around Christmas, she started to speak, and in 1 year she speaks.
Is the family language at home Italian?
People sometimes say, you have to speak another language with your daughter so she can understand, learn. But for me, it was impossible to speak in Spanish when I was in Italy. For me, it's natural to speak with her in Italian, and she speaks Spanish outside all the time.
We do the same thing most of the time at home. We're in English. My husband also speaks German, and my kids are at a German school, but most of the students are Spanish, so they've picked up a lot of Spanish. I think it's important to speak the languages of the family, especially if you travel back to Italy. It's great that she has that connection. I know you also have a World School offering that we will talk about shortly. But before that, I'd love to hear more about your personal travel origin story.
The last trip we made was quite unexpected. We traveled for work and we went to Tanzania. And we spent there 1 month. It was like the great experiment to travel for a long trip with our daughter. In Europe, it's very easy to travel because in 2 hours you are in a different country, or in 30 minutes. So we are in Milan. In 1 hour, we are in Switzerland, for example, or in France, depending also where you are living. And of course, I see a lot of country, but just because they are very close. So I'm very happy because I grow in that period It was beautiful. It helps a lot now when we are this crazy world. For me, that I grow up in this generation, it doesn't make any sense to speak about diversity in Europe because it's like a big house, really. And we strongly believe in that. So I think that the prices, apart the carbon footprint and apart of everything that we know very well, but really travels open your mind. So the answer to the problem is not we don't travel more. No, we travel in another way. I went by car and by train and I crossed and I went to Greece when I was 17. So I think that this influenced me a lot. But not just in my way of travel, also in the way I think about other people and about what I want. And this is one of the reasons why I thought that was a nice thing to create a co-living, to have people from other countries around me. Coming back to our last trip, we went to Tanzania to speak about menstrual justice for an NGO. We took Tina with us. And it was a very complete travel because it was hard, it was hot, it was everything absolutely different. We made the safari and we went to Zanzibar, that it was nice. And then we worked in Dar es Salaam, that is a very hard city, not because it's dangerous, but because it's very big and very hot, February. So for Tina was not easy. She spent a lot of hours boring or did her homeworks. But I think that it was a real experience because thanks to the work, we enter in the houses of the people. We speak with a lot of girls like her about an issue. Menstrual justice is about every one of us, even for the men, even if they don't think. So I think that it was a great experiment. Now we know that we can travel with her quite everywhere. And then coming back, because we travel with Turkish Airlines, is very smart and they offer you to stop in Istanbul. And the stop can be 1 day or 2 weeks. So we stopped there for 1 week and Tina said that she felt like Istanbul was her home. She was beautiful. The weather was perfect and we stayed 1 week and we went in the Asian parts. So we crossed the Bosphorus every time to go to the other. It was really beautiful. It's a vibrant city. So I have good feelings and I'm happy that Tina felt at home because it was the same feelings that I had the first time that I went to Barcelona. So that you can feel home even if you don't understand a word, even if it's very a new place for you.
When you got back, what was your daughter saying about the trip?
She speaks a lot about sometimes about animals, about the fishes in Zanzibar. The week that she came back to school, I don't know, they do like an exercise about what are problems for you, what is the problem, and she drew a lot of triangles crossing together. And she said, for me, the problems are these. One problem is connected to the other, is connected to the other, is connected to the other. And it's exactly what we saw when talking about menstrual justice, that is not about menstruation. It's about politics, it's about social, it's about religion. We don't exactly know what she brought with her from the trips, but I think that she has a big luggage of things.
It sounds like she learned at least that things are connected and that even though there's an issue you were there working on, that it was bigger than just one issue, and she got to see a lot of unique things and
and I think that maybe when you travel you don't realize exactly what are you bringing with yourself coming back, but it's something that maybe months or years you will make more connection, more you travel and more you learn and more you understand, more you connected points.
You mentioned your daughter, when you first got to Spain, she was in an outdoor school and she's in school at this point. I'd love to, if you could tell us more about your approach to education living abroad.
I always did like public schools in Italy, and apart the university that was private, but not because I wanted to go to a private university, but because what I want to study was there. And I'm not that kind of people traumatized for the schools. I have had beautiful teachers and professors, and so I don't have anything about the public school, even if I know that the problem that there are in Italy, like everywhere, I suppose, are not the same that we had when I was younger, so things are changed. But I was very optimistic with the school when Tina started. She was 1 year, she went to the kinder and then the infantile.
Yes.
And the second year, of course, they closed for the pandemic. And so we moved. But I went to this kind of school just because it was like, okay, open air, they will be the last one closing. A small group, okay, perfect for the pandemic. But when she started, I realized that she was very happy. And also for me, it's a new adventure. And I always like quite open about new adventures. So I say, we'll see what will happen. And she's still happy. What we do is that in the afternoon, we do the homework, the Italian homeworks at home, like 1 hour, 30 minutes, depending of the day. Because being homeschooler, she has to do an exam in Italy every summer. And of course, she cannot learn Italian grammars at school. We need to balance this part. My opinion about education, I think that everyone is different, depends a lot of what do you desire. Sometimes we always think that there is a better options, but sometimes there isn't. Or it took a lot of energies and researches to find a better option, and maybe you cross to the better option that is not better, and you are regret for what you lost. So I think that now, for how is she and how we are, is the best. And I not spend my days making questions. There is another school. I don't know. I want to change another time my life. Maybe in 2 years, yes, but in this moment, no. So I'm happy now here. If you start making questions, you will never stop. I'm a journalist, so I know what I'm talking about. And so for now, it's good. Tina is not competitive at all. They respect each other very well. They love each other. They have respect for nature, for the rules, for everything. And of course, this part is not possible to be so present in the public school when you have 25 or 31 kids jumping in a room. So how can a teacher do that? The problem is not the public school. The problem is the condition in which you put a teacher to teach in the public schools.
I actually feel like our teachers are very involved and connect closely with the parents. We have delegates that are parents who work really closely with the teachers so that the teacher does less admin work because the parent delegates do a lot of that communication with the other parents. So it allows the teachers to be more engaged in the classroom. Also, I think you're right. If you find something that's working well, it's great to enjoy it and be happy in the moment. And of course, maybe things change in the future. But that's where we've landed right now as well. Let's keep it going until something else presents itself. Who knows? But thank you for sharing. And you mentioned you're a journalist, and behind the scenes of every opportunity to live in a new country or travel to a new country is the financial and logistical sides. How are you funding your life in Spain?
We rent our apartment in Milan and then we work. I write my articles. I travel to Milan because I have clients and I do interviews, videos. And also my husband sometimes works here. He's a photographer, so sometimes here makes weddings, or he works for a real agency with houses. But he has a lot of events also in Milan. So.
Are there direct flights between Sevilla and Milan, or do you have to connect?
We can travel from Sevilla, but from Chiclana to Sevilla, there is a bus. But the bus, you have to go to the center. We need to program quite well, but with our work, sometimes it's impossible because we are freelancers to us to be there when they want, basically. That is normal. So you can say yes or no, depending of what they pay is enough to cover what you spend. I can speak with you today and say everything is beautiful and tomorrow be completely desperate.
With freelancing comes certain levels of freedom, getting to choose maybe what projects you work on. What type of journalism do you do?
I do social report, human rights, gender issues. My journalism is to go to the places, and some ago it was possible because the magazines pay, but now the magazines don't pay. So basically the journalists stay at home reading the news and writing again.
Any advice if someone wants to get into freelance writing?
But now I also think that to be a journalist, if you travel for a magazine, with all the fake news and what the AI is able to do, I think that now the work is just verify if you can really share a news and if that news is real, because the responsibility that the journalist people has It's huge, because how can you really share something if you didn't verify thousands of times before? Everything is possible now.
Where do you see AI taking things?
I can take any president of any country and say to him anything, and it could be absolutely real. And so people start to share. And you, as a journalist, how can you verify what part is true, what not, who made it? Now to find a news and that is real, it's the hardest work.
It's almost more important to make sure things are real and verify facts now more than ever. I know that you have a World School offering in Andalusia. It falls under the Andalucia Nomad Mums. Tell me more about your experience with creating that and your past opportunities and what's coming up for you.
Everything started because I'm a journalist, writing an article about the life of digital nomads. And it was interesting to find like how they live the shadow part of the life that is also sometimes it's just beautiful places. So I was interested in that. And I started to make a lot of interviews. And I entered in some groups like digital nomads, but also world schooling, because I was interested to find also stories about families who were digital nomad, not just a young person. I met a lot of people and I saw a lot of projects. And when I closed the article, I realized that I didn't cross any project about a target that for me is the most interesting, that is mothers with children. Maybe because we are a very complex target, because we have a lot of needs and a lot of worries and a lot of responsibilities also, because we are not alone. So I said, but why? Why I don't prepare a project here where we live? There is a place that is named Roche, and where there are beautiful beaches and beautiful beaches.
Beautiful there.
Yeah. So I say, but why can I don't rent a villa? And I asked the mother if they want to come with their children and see what happens. This was the first idea. I wrote a project with Canva in an afternoon, and I shared it in the groups where I was looking for people to make interviews for articles. I received like the first time like 400 requests of information. I spent 3 weeks absolutely in the computer night and day to answer to everybody. It worked. But now what we have, it's a group of villas, and they're all in the garden around the swimming pool. It's not so crowded.
Maybe people want a little bit of their own space while being in community with each other.
Because we come from this, we are very individualistic. So on the paper, yes, it's beautiful eco-living. Then you arrive and you say, I want to kill everyone. So yes, I changed the location, but now I'm super happy because they are super happy. I am organizing the next one in October. So my idea is to do every October and every May, because here the season is the best for me. There is not so much people. It's also summer in some way. You can go to the beach, you can use everything, but it's not a lot of people around. We did 2, and we are going to do more in the future.
It's perfect. Those are the best months to be there. I was looking at rental prices for the summer, which can be crazy, but it was very quiet in May. It was a beautiful weekend. There were people there, but it was not overwhelming. I love traveling during those off seasons when there's still great weather, there's still activities, but yet you're not in the rush of other people. So you said it's for 1 month. What is included?
What we offer is villas that are very huge and big, and the place is beautiful because it's 5 minutes from the beach, and Chiclana has a lot of restaurants and bars close to the beach, so it's perfect and it's very useful. Sometimes people doesn't want to rent a car, so you can, every service, it's really 5 minutes walking. And now they've just opened, yesterday was a big inauguration of the supermarket close to the beach. What is included is the place where the people live. We offer activities outside, like the school of my girls, with educators in the morning from 9 to 2, depending on the weather, depending on what they do. Sometimes they go also to the city center. It depends. And I think that time is important for the mother, because someone come for work, but also some come to read a book. So I think that is important to have this period. Even if you are doing homeschooling, I think that you need time for yourself. And at least 1 month in the morning is to offer activities to the mothers. There is one a week that is included, and others that I offer if you have more time and if you want to do more things. So, for example, we did this time, I have a friend that is a very good choreographer and dancer. So we made like a session of dance in the nature. Then we did pottery. We did the workshop of creative writing. So I offer things to the mothers to stay together and to do something together, because I think it's important to create bonds. We need friends all the time. And when we grow up, it's not easy. This is the perfect situation when you can really be yourself. And also because staying a month is not like to stay 10 days. There are also normal days when you are tired, when you don't want to go outside. Giving the opportunity to a group of moms to be themselves. Also, we took sharing experience of motherhood, of education. I think that is very nurturing. I'm thinking to the mothers, and maybe you have a lot of things in common with a mother who has a 13 years old daughter. But for how we used to in the society, we always have friends that are the same age of our kids. It's easy because we go to school, we go to the park. For our life, it's normal. But now you discover that you have a lot of things in common and you want to be more friends with a mom who has kids of another age. So I think we have a lot of privilege. If you can come for 1 month to a place, this is lucky and your children will be happy. So for 1 month, I try to think a little bit more about the mothers. And this is why when I recommend that to be free to do things. So maybe around 1.5 years, the first co-living, we had a little girl. She was 18 months and she was super independent and she spent all the time in the group. She was really crazy. But and also a lot depends on how your kid. And for the other side, I think that this time the oldest guy was 13 and he has 3 brothers and sisters. So they were 4. And I think that it's like the maximum age, because when you grow a little bit, you need to do other things. That is absolutely normal. So I think that this can be the range. But this time, for example, we had 19 kids from 2 years old to 13. But everything was beautiful because the oldest one helped the smaller one to do things. They play all the time together. So it was really nice.
I love those opportunities where multi-age children can play together. I think they learn a lot more, and maybe they like that opportunity since it is different than their grade level at school. I love that you mentioned, though, that moms are thinking about their kids, but you're thinking about the moms and how to make sure they have a good experience too. And that must let them relax and enjoy their time together in the community even more. You just finished a hub. Do you have a memorable moment that you'd like to highlight?
The first one, I was very genuine, maybe. And I thought that just because people stay together, they speak a lot about themselves. But it's not always. So I think that the best moment in the first one was at the end when we met. It was like a smallly raining in the morning and we were in pajamas and with the chocolate that I brought, and they say, I want to listen to your opinion and I want to understand how did you feel, how can be better in the next time. And that was like a moment where we really shared and express what we felt. So that moment was super important. And this is the reason why in the second one, I created this moment at the beginning. And it was super powerful because it was like the second day, everybody was still with jet lag. Women really share. It was not just, I'm here, I'm happy to be here, but it was, I'm here because I'm looking for something. The conversation was very deep. We spent 5 hours and it was very powerful because I think that was like the basis to constructing all the bonds and all the relationship. So this was perfect. For example, there were 2 kids, 3 and 5, that came from Czech Republic, and they didn't speak any words when they arrived. And the last day, the smaller one just to say his first word in English, and the mom was super happy. And the other one, when he arrived, he cries, he was sad. He spent all the time, like from the second week, he changed completely. because the educators are very good. So
Mhm.
this project cannot be possible if I don't have very good educators, absolutely able to understand, because the relationship that you create in a month is not that you can create in an year.
Absolutely.
So in a month, you have to go deeply, immediately, to understand, to be able to speak with the mothers if something happens, if they can do something for the kids. So you really have to be very prepared.
What are the price points? Is it based by family or by the size of the accommodation they need?
And so the price depends of the number of the kids, basically. If you have one, the minimum price is 3,900, growing depending of the kids. So if you have four, for example, like last year, a girl pay 5,200, something like this. Yeah.
And that includes the accommodation and
All the activities, an event when you arrive and an event when you leave, and all the activities in the morning for the mothers, one activities in the afternoon a week for the kids. Sometimes we have circus, sometimes we have other things. A gift that I give to everybody, a book. I spend like weeks thinking about the books perfect for everyone, and normally I'm good in this. And a massage for the mothers. Then my husband is photographer, so we always make like beautiful portraits of the families that we give to them. We try to be very kind with everybody, and because we like to do. My husband loves to make photos, and the people love to. Sometimes people doesn't have real pictures in the hands, so it's like a beautiful memory that you bring with you.
moms are always behind the camera, so I'm sure it's helpful to
Yes.
get them photos with their family. And you mentioned, is this primarily moms and their children? Are these moms often single moms, or are they moms that travel with just their children and leave a partner back in their home country? What have you found makes up the families that join your hubs?
The only thing is that you come with your kids. Then if you are single or you have a partner, because you can be single in June and married in October. So I cannot say, no, you're not single, you have to stay home, sorry. No, I think that it's not important if you have an husband or if you don't have, because motherhood is something that it's really sharing. And also I think that when we are in family, we are different than when we are with our girlfriends. This is not important. You can have your husband stay at work or doing something else. I'm interested in the energies that the women create when they are together. Sometimes people say they are not welcome. No, they are welcome to stay in an hotel in the street. They cannot forbidden to anyone to come to Spain, of course, but this is about mom and kids.
I love that you found a focus that really helps create an opportunity for moms to thrive for this month together.
And then the time really flies. People arrive and say, oh, what I did, I have to stay here for 1 month, because maybe you arrive, you're tired, there are a lot of kids crossing, jumping around in the garden, in the swimming pool, jump. But then time flies, and every time is the same. The last week is, but we have to say a lot of things, we have to do a lot of things. Yes, so believe me that 1 month is nothing.
It goes by quickly. And what are the dates for your fall offering?
1 October to the 29th, in the middle of the week. The experience said that it's better to fly it during the week.
True.
So maybe price can be cheaper. A lot of people do is to stay a little bit more, travel later.
Part of keeping it real, though, is discussing the realities of hub offerings and world schooling. Are there any struggles or challenges that you or your hub are experiencing at this time?
The first time I was super worried that everybody be happy, satisfied. So maybe also my attitude was more like, what do you need? How can I help? But what I then think that we are all around 30 and 45 years old. They are moms, they travel alone with their kids. So I have to assume that they are independent, that they are able to do anything. The first time, I think that I really start to enjoy the experience around the middle, when I noticed that everyone was happy, that the things are going well. This time I was more relaxed. It was easier to enjoy all the moments. I were there and I have the opportunity to know the other moms in the way that I did, because I did this because I wanted to have friends. So I cannot be the waitress all the time. And it's a really pleasure when the other people are happy and you really notice that you are giving something even more than what you thought.
Yes, you're a mom too, so you need to relax and be part of the group
Yeah.
as well.
You think, if they are not happy, if they need something and I'm not there, or if something happens, you have a lot of worries because they are there because you say, it's beautiful, it has to be beautiful. So I have to offer what I promise.
That can feel like some pressure, I'm sure. What are some current wins that you're experiencing?
I think that what I'm happy for is the confirmation that the vision that I had was right.
Yes.
So that really the mom who comes at the end are set, and also the kids. I spend a lot of time hugging the kids who were here because they were sad to leave, and they said, I'm happy that you are sad. This is part of the experience, that you have a lot of memories with you. And then I'm sure that when you arrive at home or in the airport and you will find your father or your grandmother or your friends, you will be happy again. This is just a moment because we are lucky, all of us. You are not escaping from something. You are coming here to do something because your mom decided that was a good experience for her and for you, but you're lucky at home like here. This experience adds something and maybe open also the views that I think that you have to be very brave to do something like this because it's a month, a lot of time. It's another country. It's not a dangerous country, of course. Everything is very easy, but it's with strangers. So
Yes.
you have to be brave. And I have a lot of respect for all the women that come.
That's beautiful. If people want to learn more about your hub, Lucia Autumn offering that's coming up in October, where can they learn more?
I have an Instagram page. It's Andalucia_Nomad_Mums. And you can find a lot of information. You can write to me from Instagram, or we have a page, Andalucia Nomad Mums, on Facebook, or maybe even easier, you can reach me by my Facebook page. That is Claudia Bellante, Bellante.
What is October looking like? Do you have some families signed up already? Do you have a limit based on the size of the accommodations? It sounds like the last group size was perfect.
Yes, for me, we can consider a group starting from 6. Mm-hmm. Now we have around 4. So come because it will be beautiful. And again, the age, it depends on you and depends of the kids. I suggest from 1 year old. And October is beautiful and it will be really fun.
It sounds lovely. This has been so great to hear about your life in Chiclana, your travel story, your family, your education journey, as well as your offering. It sounds like an awesome opportunity for families to connect and spend time together. I think it's especially helpful to focus on the moms. So thank you for thinking of us.
If you decide to come, it's because you want to know other people and because you have this need. But you will be sure that when you arrive, there will be people ready to listen to you, to support you.
Thank you so much for chatting with me. I'm happy I get to spend your birthday with you. I'll make sure to link everything in the show notes so if people want to join you this fall, they can connect with you.
Thank you, Suzy.